What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to another episode of AB's Garage. Today we've got Matt's C8 here at the garage, and we're going to be doing the rear brake pads on it. We've already done the front brake pads on it. We'll leave a link in the video here and in the description below if you want to do front brake pads. But today we got the rear brake pads right here from Paragon Performance. So we're going to start with removing the wheel. You're going to break the torque loose of the wheel with it on the ground or with the e-brake on. If you've got a key, you're going to want to break the torque loose not only with a breaker bar, but also you want that to be the first one you break loose. These keys are very easily damaged, so they don't like the impact from a torque or from a impact or anything like that. So just break that free. And then you can either back it off by hand or you can finish it off with your impact. We're just breaking the torque loose. Now we'll go ahead and jack up the vehicle. We've got it on our lift points under the vehicle. You just want to get it high enough off the ground that you can remove the tire. So a product that we're going to have in today's video is grip mat. These are nice, flexible silicone rubber mats that you can use to keep your tools, parts organized in a nice and neat manner. So you're going to see these off to the side. I've been using them for about a year now, and I'm highly satisfied and happy with them. I use them for everything now. Engine jobs, suspension jobs. It just keeps everything nice, neat, and prevents it from rolling off and getting lost. So definitely highly recommend these. Just going to use your 22mm socket. Bring it out in a nice even motion so you don't clip the caliper or anything like that. Just kind of set it to the side. So if you've already seen the front brake video, then you'll see this one's going to be a little bit different. Both calipers are fixed, but this one you don't have to remove the caliper to remove the brake pads. It's just got two pins here on the outside of the caliper. You're going to take a punch. That's about we have a 3/16 inch punch and a hammer. And you're just going to knock those out to release the retaining clip on the back side of the caliper. So, put our mat under it. And then apply some pressure on the spring to release tension on the pin, and then you can pull them out of the back of the caliper, and there you go. We'll clean those up in a bit, but next to remove the brake pads. So because they're fully compressed to the caliper, you've got to relieve some tension on them. So you're just going to take each brake pad, the rear one, you're going to push it towards the vehicle to kind of compress the brake piston a little bit. You don't need much, it just needs a little bit. And then the outer one, you're going to pull towards you, and then you can slide them right out. And as you can see there, you got about 1 millimeter of brake pad material left. We're gonna kind of put those side by side with the new ones. As you can see, about 1 millimeter compared to about 10 millimeters on these new ones. So definitely needed. If you're not replacing the rotors, you are gonna need to compress the caliper pistons in order to, because you have all that extra material from the new brake pads. So you're going to want to get a caliper compressor tool. Just going to wind it in. And you just want to position the pads so that they're contacting a portion of each piston. With this specific tool, we can't put the pistons, fully on these pads because the way the tool's set up, with the rotor being right there, we'd have to completely remove the caliper to use the tool in that manner. But this way is still going to work. Also, when you're doing that, you're going to want to make sure the other side, the brake pads, or at least installed in the caliper so that you don't accidentally pop a piston out. Because as you compress here, the brake fluid's going to go somewhere, and sometimes it goes to another caliper and forces them out. Also, if you're doing front and rear brakes at the same time, definitely have the other brake pads and stuff installed. So we've got the caliper pistons compressed. Before we install the new pads, we're going to go ahead and clean up the hardware and the caliper itself. So we just got some brake clean, some AMSOIL brake clean. Just kind of spray it on the rag and then just wipe the caliper surface. Brake dust is very abrasive and eats paint, so anytime you can get it off, especially if you're already going to be there. Doesn't need to be perfect, but every little bit helps. And then you're also going to want to clean the hardware, because you want the pads to, you know, slide nice and easy on your caliper pins. So just get some brake clean on those. Wipe them clean. And your retaining clip spring. Before you install the new pads, you're going to want to put some brake grease on the pad backing edge, where it's going to seat on or rest on the caliper. Just need a little bit for each pad, and then just kind of smear it on there. And then you can install these pads into the caliper, in or outer, it doesn't matter. They are interchangeable. So you're going to put the pad material facing the rotor and just slide it in. If they don't go in very easy, you're going to need to compress the pistons a little bit more. But these ones are going right in. You're going to align the holes on the brake pads with the holes in the caliper. So next we're going to install the retaining pins into the brake pads and caliper. So we've got our spring and our one retaining pin in hand. I like to start with the lower one because it makes doing the top one a little bit easier second. So you're going to line up the hole on the brake pad with the hole on the caliper and get the pin started. Then kind of install the spring clip so that the pin goes through that lower ledge right there. And then you can take your hand off the clip because it's secured by the pin at that point. And then you can push on the caliper or the brake pad to line that hole up and just get it started in the caliper here. And then you can go ahead and use a hammer. Just give it some taps. Doesn't take much, but you want to get it to where the basically the tapered surface is fully exposed from the hole there. So then we can go ahead and install our upper one. For this one, you're going to have to apply downward pressure on the spring. Start the pin in the caliper and the brake pad. Make sure it goes under the lip of the spring, and then keep the pressure on it. And you can adjust the brake pad to allow the pin to go into the brake pad. And then get it started in the caliper, and then finish it off with it. All right, so we've got the tapered side fully exposed there. So now that's pretty much it. We're just gonna go ahead and reinstall the wheel, pump the brakes a couple times, and then go take it for a spin. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and reinstall the wheel. Just kind of get it somewhat lined up and positioned. Oh man, that hurts. Use my grip mat here. on the studs there. All right. And take your 22 mil, your lug nuts. Just get a couple of them started before you really tighten them down.
Probably a combination of both. Too tight.
Right. And then you're going to install your key by hand. Then we're going to torque everything while it's on the ground. So you just want to drop it until the wheel contacts the ground. You can set your torque wrench to 140 foot-pounds. Almost right here. And then just go in a star pattern, and you want to tighten the keyed one last if you have a key. You have impeccable timing, young sir. All right.
Say something for the video. Perfect.
That'll be my thumbnail.
Literally.
Brakes with Grace and B. All right, once you do get everything tightened down, before you take it off our drive, you're gonna wanna go get in the driver's seat and pump the brakes to get the caliper and the pistons to apply pressure to the brake pads so they can, fill up the gap that you just created when you spread them apart. Then you're gonna go take it for a drive, 5, 10, 15 minutes of a mix up between medium and hard brake pressure, just to get the pads to begin the bed-in process of the rotors. Definitely recommend don't do any high-speed braking or track driving without performing the bed-in process, as that can possibly over-temp the brake pads or ruin the bed-in process. All right, so that concludes the brake pad, the rear brake pads replacement on a 2020 C8 Corvette. Thanks for Matt for letting me tear apart his car and putting it back together for fun. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.